Wants to throw it to Sewell. He caught it. He Sewell on a first down. Oh, yes. The big man dives down the 31-yard line. Oh, that is beautiful. Fields looking pressured, hit from behind, take it down. Aiden Hutchinson got him.
No respect.
So, we look like we're ready. This is day one.
No respect.
All right, Detroit Lions fans, we're coming up on the last couple of minutes in the game. I had to go live, otherwise my slot was going to expire. But what a great sack by Hutchinson. But, dude, you just missed a fumble at the 50-yard line. And this is a different ball game right now with the ball at the 50. So I'm just hoping these Lions can hang on and put together a good drive here. Nice catch by Laporta there for a first down and 12 yards. Lions are in 2-minute offense. We've got to put it together now. We've got a lot to talk about in this game. And a pick is going to end this game. Wow. All right, come on, defense. Let's go. I mean, I don't even know how to get mad right now. It's so deflating the way that this game has gone. And so the way that some of these plays have been called, it's just incredible. What a catch. Wow. Beautiful play, man. That's what happens in big games. People make plays. And right now, that was a terrible pass by Goff. I mean, it was not only behind Laporta, it was low. That ball needs to be high on the outside at chest level. But that was an incredible play. A beautiful play by Hutchinson. He misses a fumble. I mean, he knocks the ball out. Dak fumbles the ball. And instead of paying attention, he celebrates. So I'm not putting this on Goff. I'm not putting this on Hutchinson because, Goff just threw an interception. But you've got to pay attention. You are a professional athlete. You have to pay attention. You saw the ref threw the blue baggie in, and that means it is a live ball on the ground. When that ball is recovered, it would have been called a fumble, and they would have had to have overturned it. And Dak was not on the ground. He was bent over on top of Hutchinson. I will say this, though, without giving away too much of my notes. This defense has kept us in the game. I'm actually quite happy with the Lions and in how they played tonight. But there is a lot to talk about. It makes me feel better about the playoffs. I'll tell you that. A lot of people say that these Lions are one and done when they enter the playoffs, and I just don't see that being the case. This is going to be a great game for the Lions to learn from. They came into AT&T Stadium and a team that's putting up 40 points a game. The Lions are more than likely going to hold them to under 20 points, potentially. And Lamb, let's just call it for what it is. I don't care that he has 200 yards because one play is almost half of his yardage tonight, and it was a busted play and a bad play by Barnes. Tonight is all self-inflicted wounds. That's what this entire evening has been about for the Detroit Lions, all self-inflicted wounds. And you can't have that. You can't have it in the big games. So we'll be doing the post-game show here as soon as the game wraps up. Until then, I'll be back. All right, if you guys are just tuning in, we'll be starting the show here as soon as the game ends. I'm just trying to watch the rest of the game without getting a copyright hit with something popping on the screen or getting heard. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. I'll be back in a few moments. Mike, I see your comment in there about it's laughable for anyone to say Goff is better than Dak. I don't know if anyone's really ever said that. But Goff is having a terrible night tonight because he's under a lot of pressure. Our offensive line has completely failed tonight. Delay a game. How lovely would it be for a Jamison Williams? I don't know if he's back in yet, but we need a J-Mo bomb right now. We need some guys to go deep. All right, well, if you guys are just now jumping in, we're just waiting for the game to end. Cowboys are going up 20-7. And the Detroit Lions are going to have about a minute and 35 seconds or so to come back. All they need is a touchdown to tie and throw this into overtime. Lions should have won this game, hands down. The way this defense played tonight, they have kept the Cowboys to half of their normal output. But you want to talk about a defensive line that gets pressure. You saw it tonight. But you also saw some big mistakes. And, of course, everyone's going to talk about the interceptions. They're going to blame this game on Goff. And that's not the case. And we'll talk about that tonight, too. Yeah, he made some mistakes. He threw, too many interceptions tonight. 2 of them. 1 too many. He could afford 1. He could not afford 2. But he's under a ton of pressure tonight. This offensive line has completely collapsed around him all night long, and they couldn't get anything going. In a game where we should be able to run the ball down their throat, didn't happen. And when you have big plays that get called back because of a holding, that's not on Goff. When, CeeDee Lamb breaks a 97-yard or 92-yard touchdown because Barnes doesn't tackle Dak for a safety. And Cam Sutton, I believe he fell down on the route. That's not on Goff. You take that 1 touchdown away, it's a tie ball game. So there's a lot of blame that can go around. I can tell you this, though. The defense played really well, but they also gave up some really big plays. Come on, Laporta. You just gotta quit shimmying, man. Just run north and south, buddy. You're not moving. You're not shaking anybody. Lions have a minute, 22 seconds left. 1st and 10. They're at the 35-yard line. They're driving down the field. Let's go. Get rid of that ball. Here we go. Big completion to Laporta down to the 40-yard line. And, of course, we have no timeouts. We got to get down and spike it. Spike it or try to get a playoff. There you go. Lions have a minute, 2 seconds, 2nd and 10, 40-yard line. Hey, they're still within reach. They can tie this ball game up. They can do it in 2 passes. We need J-Mo. I don't know if he's still hurt. I didn't hear, if he came back or not. The thing that I love about Goff, though, is even though he's thrown some interceptions tonight, the guy comes back and battles. He is not scared to throw the ball. As where most quarterbacks would be scared to come back in the game and throw a pass, not Goff. Another deep pass over the middle. St. Brown down to the 35-yard line. Lions have 54 seconds. They're going to walk up and spike it. And we got 48 seconds left for 2nd and 10, 35-yard line. The one thing that I want to question Ben Johnson on, if I ever have a moment to, is we know that our 2-minute offense works and our 4-minute offense works. Why are we not calling plays like that throughout the game? When you're stuck, when you're stumbling, when you're not able to get, anything working, your offensive line is not able to hold. Why are you not calling this type of an offense to get a spark? Why do we always wait until it's late in the game? And it's usually too little too late. You're going to make a few plays. You can throw a few passes. That should have been a penalty, looks like. Not called. I mean, it's clearly just held. Nothing called. Here we go. Home cooking for the Cowboys. Jerry World. This is why the Lions can't stand the Cowboys. That's why the Cowboys are one of the most hated ball clubs in the game. Come on, Laporta. There you go. Keep it going. Get up and spike that ball. Lions are down to about the 10-yard line. They're going to have about 28 seconds to go. 27. 1st and 10 from the 10.5-yard line. Campbell's calling the huddle. Lions can come back and tie this ball game up, and if they do, that's going to pause this game, pause this live stream. I don't think I'll go anywhere. But everyone is biting their nails right now. Alonzo House, your new name, man. Haven't seen you in the chat before. He says, best defensive game Aaron Glenn has called. He certainly has called the gem, just like you stated, my man. Perfect game, but there's some big mistakes in this game. There we go. Monroe St. Brown for the touchdown. Lions. There we go. Lions are back in it. Tie ball game here once we make this field goal or extra point. Sorry. Wow. Ben Johnson, why don't you do this during the game? Like, the middle parts of the game, not the end. Knees are up. He's in. He's over. That's a touchdown. Nice play. Oh, we better not be going for 2. Oh, my God, dude. What are you doing? Dan Campbell, please tell me you're not going for 2 points right now. Tie the ball game. Take it into OT. Oh, my goodness. If they pull this off, Dan Campbell better be the coach of the year if they pull this off. This is insane. This is insane. And they got it! Is that Penei Sewell? You've got to be kidding me. I'm sorry, I'm yelling on the mic. This is absolutely insane. Unbelievable. Taylor Decker catches the 2-point conversion in Jerry World. Yeah, Cowboys. How you like me now? And what are all these penalties for? What are all the flags on the field for? Goff, just back away. They just took that away? Illegal touching? They're trying to take this game from us. You've got to be kidding me. Who's to say that he didn't? Kick the... Oh, Dan Campbell. You've got to be kidding me, dude. Just take it into OT. This is more than aggressive. This is idiocy. Clearly, they're trying to take the game from us. I can't imagine that Taylor Decker would report eligible. And that was just a false start by the Cowboys. And you're not gonna call it. Yeah, you better have called it. There better be a flag on the Cowboys. Move that ball back up. Oh, my God. I've never been this amped in my life. Somebody needs to find the audio where Taylor Decker reports as eligible, because this is insane. The NFL is clearly showing us what they're trying to do by controlling these games. And we're going to go for it for a third time. Unbelievable. What a shit pass, Goff. What a shit pass. Yeah. I guess we shouldn't have expected anything else from the refs in Jerry World. But you, Dan Campbell, you can't do this. You can't go for it 3 times in a row. I mean, first of all, Mitchell wouldn't even have scored on that. He wasn't even near the end zone. He's got to be 3 yards more north. Terrible route. This is insane. This is insane. He's going to get crucified all night, all day tomorrow. And who's to say he didn't report? Timeout, Cowboys. Unbelievable. Dan Campbell's got to take the points. He's got to learn that this type of ball does not work in the NFL all the time. At this point, when everything is going wrong, your players are not in the best frame of mind. You need to sit them on the bench, take the points, go into overtime, get everybody cooled down. No one is going to – all they're thinking is what just happened. He needs to learn psychology because that's what this is all about. These guys are not in the right frame of mind when all this blows down. And what in the hell is Tracy Walker doing just staring at the ball? Dude, go get it. You're just staring at it. That's unsportsmanlike, waving. What a cocksucker. Lamb. I hope we see him in the playoffs. I want the Cowboys. Unreal. All right, well, we're going to get going here in just a few moments. We will have the Detroit Lions post-game press conference as well. We're going to get that queued up. Man, this is bad. This is bad for football. But what are we supposed to expect? It's Jerry World. Oh, I can't wait to see the videos are going to be coming out by Derek. Because I'm definitely going to be I'll definitely be making some myself. We'll be going here in just a few moments. We'll get things dialed in. Man, take the points. Take the points. Tie the game. Unbelievable. All right, who do we got in? We got anybody in yet? Yeah, TaylorMade, I see a tough loss, but we've got more than a tough loss to discuss, man. This is bad. I'm gonna get going here in just a moment. I'm trying to get some things dialed in here. My heart is just beating out of my chest. I am so livid right now at what just transpired in this game. Not only because of some of the calls that the Lions were trying to pull off, but there is no way in hell Taylor Decker doesn't report eligible. They do it all the time. And I want to hear the audio. I'm hoping someone was close to Decker that was mic'd up tonight. But usually when you're in the game, they usually announce it that, like Dan Skipper reports eligible, Dan Skipper, and they do it all the time. All the freaking time. Why wouldn't Taylor Decker? And maybe the ref just didn't report it, and he wanted to use that. This is some garbage. There is no way in hell that Taylor Decker wouldn't report eligible. I want to hear it from Taylor Decker's mouth that he didn't, and then I'll believe it. Or from Dan Campbell if he says that they didn't. Or, maybe there's something I'm missing because I didn't have all the audio on, but from what I heard, he had to report eligible and didn't. And I doubt that. I highly doubt that. It's Jerry World. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it tonight. It's freaking Jerry World. This is what happens when the Lions play the Cowboys. Every freaking time. For some reason, I can't find the Detroit Lions channel right now. I'm just scrolling, and it's not popping up. I don't know why. It's like totally missing. It's not popping up anywhere. My stuff's popping up. Everybody else stuff's popping up, but nope, not the Lions. That's awkward. All right, well, I'm just going to get rolling. I'll come back and look for it in a few moments, I guess. Okay, man. Lions shouldn't have lost this game. And I guess, I've already said a lot of this today, but I'm going to say it again. This is probably the best defensive game I've seen AG call, not only in this entire season, but probably even all of last season. He called it right. We didn't get a ton of DB blitzes, but he called the right pressure. And clearly, with Alualu and Irvin in today, we saw a big change in pressure and the ability for this defense to come up with big plays and stop the run game. CeeDee Lamb needs to sit the F down. Okay, that guy is nobody special. I'm sorry. He only has this massive amount of yards tonight because Derek Barnes missed a tackle. Other than that, CeeDee Lamb would have had about $1 on the night, $110. And even then, it probably wouldn't even have been that much. So he has 200-plus yards tonight because 92 of it came on one broken play where Dak should have been sacked for a safety. I don't know what was going through Derek Barnes' brain. Like, he totally just ran by the dude and blew him kisses and barely touched him. Like, you've got to wrap the guy up and you've got to put him to the ground. It doesn't make a bit of sense to me. So even if he thinks for a second that he's going to take a penalty for hitting the quarterback, I'd rather see him take the penalty than what just happened. And you know what I'm saying. If he would have hit Dak too hard, or if Dak would have thrown it and it would have been, too hard, unnecessary roughness or whatever, late hit, then what? Yeah. Late hit or whatever. So hold on. Someone just texted me something and said something scrolling. I guess here we go. So you gotta wrap him up. You gotta put Dak on the ground. So that play should have never happened. And tonight, a lot of what tonight is self-inflicted wounds. So if you guys missed the halftime show, here's what I said. Somebody please tell me what happened to our offensive line. Did they not get off the bus? Because they couldn't block anyone. The run game couldn't get going. Goff had zero time to do anything. And when he didn't have time, he started to make some mistakes later in the game. The Lions were just completely, shooting themselves in the foot all night tonight. And, between the false starts and then Ben Johnson's cuteness with his play calling, it was just, it was god-awful there in the first half. It really was. And in the second half. That last offensive drive was the cleanest drive we've had all night. So the Lions defense was clearly saving this game from the very beginning. AG was calling a great game. There was some suspect effort plays, like I said, with Derek Barnes. But going for it on fourth down when the Lions just needed the points was a bad idea. So when we don't get that, touchdown in the beginning of the game where he's going for it on fourth down near the goal line, those 3 points win this game tonight. It's a much different game. So take the dang points, Dan Campbell. Quit being cute. Quit thinking you can beat everybody. Just do what normal teams do when it counts. Tonight counted. The 1 seed, gone. 2 seed, gone. So take the points, dude. Sorry, I'm pissed. This shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. So going forward on fourth down, it's a situational thing. You do it when you need it. You don't do it all the damn time. And I get it. Your team's not scoring points. Well, then go down and talk to your offensive coordinator and say, dude, it's time to go into the 2-minute offense, go a little up tempo, call some quicker pass plays, quit putting these guys in a bad situation. You don't go for it, on a short, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 from shotgun and hand it off. We seen that. What game was that? The Bears, where they called a shotgun. It was like a misdirection counter. You're trying to go 7 yards to get 1 yard. Why? Who does that? Nobody does that but the Detroit Lions. And they do it again tonight. Didn't we learn our lesson during the Bears game? You can't do that. The offensive line's getting trashed all night long, and so you do it again? That's the cuteness that I'm talking about. It's got to stop. This is where, Ben Johnson is great at what he does. But he's also making some rookie mistakes. And I almost think like Dan Campbell's big ball syndrome is rubbing off on Ben Johnson at the wrong time. So Taylor Decker got exposed big time tonight. Played terribly. Got his butt kicked all night. All night. Parsons unblocked on I can't tell you how many plays. And that's, again, cuteness, because you're using a blocking scheme where you're trying to get to the second level with the first guy and have somebody swing over and pick up Parsons. Parsons is too quick for that. Then he showed you not once, not twice, not 4 times, about a dozen times tonight, but yet you still kept doing it. The game is won in the trenches, and if you're having trouble, you need to change how you call the game. So let me go to the chat, because I could go on and trash these Lions for what they've done, excellent this season. Because this game, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I did not really expect us to win. I thought that we would be able to run the ball down their throat like a few other teams have been able to do. And when we couldn't do that, I knew this was going to be a very tough game. So the fact that we lose by 1 point, I think it was 20-19 there at the end. I got so confused by going for it, 6 times or whatever it was, 3 times on fourth down or for a 2-point conversion. But Dan Campbell's got to keep his guys, in the game mentally. All right, I'm going to work backwards here. So Robert Welch, as Parsons had his way, and we continually ran right at him. Yeah, it made no sense to me. So you run right at this guy who's trash in your offensive line, who's getting in your backfield with ease. Why can't we run the other way? Is there something wrong with the other side of the field that we don't know about? Is there monsters over there? Because the only monster I saw tonight was Parsons. Well, and then Lawrence, too. He was having his way with us. Culver, Owen Culver says, Taylor reported eligible. Did you hear it? Please tell me you heard it, because I didn't have the audio on. And please tell me you heard it, because if you heard it, I want to find this audio, and I want to do some videos about it. Defense did cook. C Klaus 21 says that the defense did cook. We did. I mean, the defense played pretty darn well tonight, but there was also some really big boneheaded moves. Big plays. You cannot let up big plays in a game like this. We expected some, right? I mean, they had CeeDee Lamb. We expected a few big plays. But did CeeDee Lamb really get that many big plays? No. Did he get 2 really giant ones? Yes. Was one of them caused because of a defensive mental error? Absolutely. So was it CeeDee Lamb making those plays, or was it the Lions defense allowing him to make those plays? And I'm going to go with the latter. And it's those self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the chest that will help you lose a game. And that's exactly what it did tonight. Eric Myers says, Lomas said the Cowboys D were slanting and too fast. I could agree with that. C. Klaus says, we need to know when to say when. There you go. At some point, you just have to understand you have to kick the dang football. that you just, and I don't know if you guys heard this, a few moments ago, but what I was saying is this game is about the mental side of the game as much as it is the physical side, right? Oftentimes what you hear and what you learn throughout life is things are 90% mental, 10% toughness, right? 10% physical. Yep, you've got all the physical attributes. You're a big guy, you're in shape. That means nothing if you don't have a brain, attached to your body. And more importantly, you have to be emotionally intelligent. And tonight, we were not emotionally intelligent on the field. And psychology would tell you that when everything is going wrong in the last 30 seconds of this game, and the refs are trying to pull this game out of your hands, and your players are upset, why would you leave them on the field? Kick the ball, get them off the field, get them settled down, make a plan, and hope that you win that coin toss. I would rather have a 50-50 shot in a coin toss than I would, taking 3 shots at the end zone. There's only so many times you're going to burn a Cowboys team trying to get a 2-point conversion. Paul Oliver says the Lions would have won had the field goal had been kicked in the third quarter. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And we had many opportunities to kick field goals tonight. Dan will take the blame and then do it again next week. You're darn right. But you know what? Next week doesn't even matter right now, Eric, because the 1 seed and the 2 seed are gone. I'm pretty positive the 2 seed's gone. I mean, it would have to take an extreme amount of losses right now. Like everybody would have to lose the rest of the way out. If I remember correctly, if we tied with the Eagles, we still had the 2 seed. But if we tied with the Cowboys get the 2 seed. So at this point, the Cowboys would have to finish 1 game behind us. And I mean, the Lions could win next week. They'll be 12-5. What's the Cowboys record right now? Are they 11-5? 11-4? What are they? I don't even know what the record is right now. Lauren McQuaig says we need to win out for the number 2. We only have 1 game left. That's it. We got the Vikings. And when I did all the math on it, Lauren McQuaig, so the Cowboys are 11-5 right now. That means the Lions are 11-5. So we have to win. The Cowboys would have to lose. We can tie with the Eagles, but we cannot tie with the Cowboys to get the 2 seed. And I don't know what the Eagles' record is. So really tomorrow is everything. It's everything. It really needs we need a lot to happen still. But I'm settling for the 3 at this point because tonight was such a meaningful game. Now I'm going to move on from being negative for just a moment. And I need a drink because I've been talking a while. This game showed me a lot. Not just the negativity, not the bad plays, right? We beat ourselves today. It showed me that we can hang with the best teams in the NFL. We got blown out by the Ravens early in the season. We had a lot of injuries going into that game. No excuses, right? No excuses. We got beat. But tonight showed me, where everyone is saying the Cowboys are such a great team. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're a top 5 team in the NFL, and you lose by 1 point. And you pretty much gave up at least 14 points to them defensively. And you took away about 6 points at least offensively from yourself. Forget the interceptions. You beat yourself tonight without throwing an interception. So, in my opinion, it showed me that the Lions can hang. So it makes me feel a lot better for the playoffs because I know that whoever we go up against won't be as good of a defense as the Cowboys. And for what the Cowboys' offense was supposed to be tonight, this defense showed us they can play. Still things to clean up, and we shouldn't be saying that this late in the season, but that made me feel better. Mike 505 says, same old Lions. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. I don't. We're allowed to lose a game. We're allowed to have a bad game. But I don't think we're the same old Lions, buddy. I think that's been gone. Robert Welch says that it did show that we can hang. The biggest thing is we have to finish and we have to be smart. And that's the thing that just burns me up. Mike 505 says kept Dallas in the game when we should be up by 2 scores. Yeah, that's very true. But that doesn't mean that we're the same old Lions, buddy. That's gone. I won't take that anymore. SOL's dead, buried, and gone. And that happened the minute that we won the division. Right here. We locked it down. It's over. By the way, this is probably the most comfortable hoodie I've ever worn in my life. I can say that, for an $85 hoodie, at least it was the most comfortable hoodie I've ever had on. Lauren McQuaig says we kept them 220 down to take away in the red zone. I mean, there are some great things to take away from this game. And I'm glad that we showed that we can play with the best of them. But tonight was a difference of the Lions playing smarter and burning themselves up, because that's what they did. They burnt their own selves. So third quarter, here's what I got for some notes. Cowboys' first drive was a punt, 10 plays, 42 yards. Took 4 minutes, 11 seconds off the clock. The Lions were stopping the run, but Lamb was continuing to get free for a first down. Dak was under pressure, almost sacked a couple of times. Pollard misses a pass. It was 3rd and 12. Branch made a real nice play on Lamb. And I wanted to point out that the Cowboys are switching up the plays quite a bit at the line, which told me that the Lions' defense was having some effect on how the Cowboys were calling their plays. And if you remember from the pregame show, the one thing that I always talk about and to watch for is if the offense comes up to the line and they're not switching plays, they know what you're doing, they feel pretty confident they're going to beat you. But when they start switching and calling new plays and switching guys around, your defense is working. And tonight, that happened quite a bit. And we saw the result. I mean, the defense played great. Now, Hutch got 3 sacks tonight. They weren't impressive sacks, but they were sacks nonetheless. And the thing that really ticks me off is the last one. That was a fumble at like the 50-yard line. And instead of, Hutch putting his hands up like, yeah, I got a sack, dude, you had to reach over and grab a ball, and you also had a fumble. And now we're moving down the field from the 50. Come on. You got to be smart. You got to be smart. So you got to quit thinking about celebrations. Act like we've been there before, because that act of selfishness just negated you getting a major game-changing play, a fumble, when we needed to go score a touchdown. So it's those types of plays that burn me up. It's that type of acts that I just can't stand. The WAP says, good job, refs. Yeah, look, we've gotta find this audio of Taylor Decker calling himself eligible. It needs to be played loud for the NFL to hear that we're not taking this crap. And I don't know how we're going to prevent it in the future, but I do know that when you make a big enough noise in this country, you can affect change. Derek Biddleman says you can't fix plays, you can fix coverages, but you can't fix dumb calls. That's going to be a problem. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Marcus Willis says if Goff didn't miss in the end zone, we win by 2 touchdowns. That last play, Mitchell wasn't even close to the end zone. He was 3 yards short on his route. He should have been 1 yard deep in the end zone before Goff threw that pass. That pass wasn't even close. But Mitchell wouldn't have scored anyway. So he was already on the ground, just terrible play. I just don't get it. You bring in a guy that hasn't played all season and you're going to him on that play? You're not going to St. Brown or Laporta or Gibbs or anybody else? You're going to Mitchell? Dumb. Lauren McQuaig says we should remind Dallas hasn't scored less than 30 points at home all year. They averaged 40. So they averaged 40 at home. 40. What does that tell you? So yeah, we cut it down in by half. But to me, a win is a win is a win. We got to win. Yeah, Eric Meyer says Hutch showed up with the sacks. He did, and I credit a lot of that to our defense playing the way that they did tonight. Hutch had some other things going on tonight too that I'm not going to get into because I don't want everyone to always think that I'm a Hutch hater. But overall, this was a very good defensive effort, and they came up with some good plays when we needed it most. But we also gave up some big plays when we needed those the least. And those things have to get fixed. One thing I can say, though, and I'm going to open up the phone lines here in about 5 minutes or less, is next season, when we get through another draft, this team is going to be tough to stop. If we even get 2 more rookies to start next year, just 2, both on the defensive side of the ball, this is going to be a very tough team. And from moving on from this year to next year, I'm expecting a huge leap in progress from Hutchinson. He's in a sophomore slump, so I'm expecting a huge leap from him from this year to next year. Brian Branch, hope he doesn't hit a sophomore slump, but I'm expecting a huge leap from him too. He's really wise beyond his years. He is a game changer. So I'm expecting big things next year. And of course, this season's not over, but I just keep going back to that and how excited I am, from what we're seeing now and how much better it's going to get. Robert Welch says Aaron Glenn made his money tonight. Here's what I hope he made. I hope he made his way out of Detroit to a head coaching position. That's what I hope he made. And I'm sorry. That's just what I'm rolling with tonight. I want those 3rd round picks. We get 4 3-round, 3rd round picks. We get 2 in each year, 2 next year, 2 the year after that. Imagine what we could do with those picks. We've already got 2 3rd round picks for next year. Imagine if we had 4 and we get 6, 6 guys in the top 100. You want to talk about game changing. That would be game changing. Eric Meyer says, I hope you're right about the next because won't we have a very tough schedule? Most of our schedule's already, there. There's only like 4 or 5 games, 4 games that we don't know, who we're playing yet. But our schedule's already out. I mean, you can look it up as to who we're playing. Just don't know when we're playing or where. Lauren McQuaig says they screwed us, Will. Did anyone find it? Did anyone find the audio? Because if you do, please email it to me at info@rockedonpodcastnetwork.com. I'm going to go back and try to find it, but I can guarantee you one thing. The NFL is already scrubbing it right now. So if we don't get it right away, it'll be gone. It won't be on any highlights. It won't be on the replay. They're scrubbing that audio right now. I guarantee it. Lauren says there's a short video out there with Decker reporting to the refs. Well, you know what? Is there any way you can email it and I'll throw it up right now? Or at least a link or something? All right, let me see if I can find the press conference. I wasn't able to find it a minute ago. I want to bring it in if you guys want to watch it. I got to hear what Dan has to say. I'm a little baffled at what he can even possibly say about the last that last set of downs there. All right, I'm going to bring this in and then I'm going to take it off, and then when Dan Campbell comes on, we will we'll put it on. Oh, what is my thing doing? There we go. All right. I think we'll all be able to see that. Okay. All right. So Babel, I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce your name right now. If Campbell, it's this blown call, I'd lose all respect for him. He has to put on for his guys. I'd be livid. So are you saying that if this was a blown call by Dan Campbell, not making sure that Decker reports eligible, you'd say that you're going to lose all respect for Dan Campbell? Dan Campbell, what now about his press conference? He already had it? How did I miss it? Oh, I guess he did. All right. I don't know if you guys already watched it, but I'm going to bring it in right now.
And thought our defense played.
At the podium, let's hear from him.
To the end, we knew it was going to come down to the wire, and thought our defense played really well today. You know, minus.
Can you guys hear it? Can someone let me know if you can hear it?
That was in our hands. You know, we did, but we were there to make a play. We didn't. Other than that, I thought we did some really, really good things. Got off the field, got a takeaway. Offense, 1:41 on the clock, no timeouts, linked in the field, score, and go for two. We get it, and we get an L. So it's probably the way the guys fought. We just made too many critical errors there to where it shouldn't have come down there at the end. Look, credit to them. They played hard. You know, we knew they would. They'd give us their best shot, and they play well at home. They did again. And we'll see them in a couple of weeks. Be good.
Yeah, he wants to see him in a couple of weeks. Me too.
70 reported.
Yeah, he reported.
Yeah, the explanation was 70 reported. Yes.
So let me pause that. He's saying that 70, what the refs are saying is that 70 reported, not Decker.
And do they need to announce that if both players report?
Two people can't report. I don't want to talk about it. All right. I explain everything pregame to a T. Okay, I did that. 70 reported, 58 didn't, or 68 didn't. We threw it to 68. That was the explanation.
So if that's the explanation, if 70 goes into reports, 68 can't. And that means that when you throw the pass to 68, it's illegal touching. So if that's the case, if Dan Skipper goes into reports, I assume Dan's 70, I think he's 70, then that screws Decker. But then why didn't Decker report if that's who was supposed to report? Because then the ref would have said, well, who is it then? Is it you or is it 70? And he would have said, it's me. So did Decker forget to report? I don't know.
And the mentality to go for two there at the end. Obviously, you wanted to keep the game in your hand and try to win it.
Yeah, I told the offense that we were going down 141 left. We're going to go down and score, and then we're going to go for two and finish this game out. I told them that, and so that's what we were doing.
And being backed up, that didn't change anything when you get backed up to the
Backed
seven.
up where?
To the 7 instead of the 2 from the 2-point play. Did you think at all?
We were going for win.
The last 2-point play, what happened on that? Was that, should James have caught that pass? What happened on that play exactly from your point of view?
We didn't connect. We didn't connect.
Well,
I thought it just started, my bad.
CeeDee Lamb, just the game that he had against you guys today.
He's a good player, you know. We tried to double him some, but we also wanted to pressure. And when you pressure, you know, we got to be able to hold up. And you know, you get isolated, get some one-on-ones. He's a good player, we know that. But I thought we had the right balance. You know, he's tough to contain.
So I want to talk about the balance there for a minute, because the balance is very critical when you're talking about how to effectively control a game. And you know that you have Justin Jefferson that you're going to go up against twice a year. You're coming into a game with the Cowboys, and they have another Justin Jefferson-esque type player. I think Jefferson's better than CeeDee Lamb by a mile. But CeeDee Lamb's having a good season. So in my mind, what these guys are planning for is, all right, our balance tonight is we need to keep Lamb to 25% of the yards, and we need to keep the rest of the team to, the other 75%. If we can hold that balance, whatever that balance is, and we're playing pretty good ball, we can win this game. Unfortunately, that didn't happen tonight. And it didn't happen because of self-inflicted gunshots. It just felt like these guys are walking through, the field on hunting day, forgot to put the safety on, and they blow their foot off every other play. It was almost laughable for a minute, but I was so pissed off during this game. And people probably don't like watching games with me all the time because there's games that I'm not happy, with the things that I'm watching because I know these guys can play so much better. We've seen these guys play very clean football many times this season. That's why we're 11-5 now, but that's why we are 11-4, right? We are who we are, but you also are the sum of your mistakes. And tonight was a game full of mistakes. And that's why Dan Campbell's so pissed. And that's why he said at the very beginning, I explained everything.
I thought our defense played pretty damn good today.
We can see the frustration in your face. Can you just explain where it comes from right now? Is it the
What
result?
would you be? Would you be frustrated right now?
Is it on the call? Is it on the execution? Is it, what is
I don't like losing, Dave, and that's what happened. We lost, and that bothers me. It bothers me. I don't like having an L, so that's the frustration. I'm sorry. I don't mean it at you.
Yeah, what a way to end it.
To the end,
Not going to be a good day for reporters on Monday. And you can tell that, during the game, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy about the calls. He wasn't happy about the refs there at the end. If there was some sort of confusion going on, the refs should have done something. So I still want to know. I want to know if Decker reported and the refs took 70 over 68. That's the issue. Is if both of them reported, or are they just saying that 70 reported and 68 didn't? Now, Dan Campbell didn't say that Decker didn't report. He just said that what he was told is that 70 reported. So we'll find out, whether that's through Dan Campbell or not. I know he's got to watch what he says. He can't call these refs in, names. He can't throw them under the bus. He can't call them out publicly. He's got things that he has to do as a coach, and he's got to walk a fine line. So, C. Klaus says the Decker reported. There's a clip of Goff telling him to report. Let's see it. I want to see it. And him running over. Well, I want to see it, and I want to hear it. And when I get done here tonight, I'm going to do it. Lauren McQuaig says they screwed us. Yep, I think that's what we're finding out. And I hate it. I hate it because it's always the Cowboys. Always. And this is exactly why Ndamukong Suh is still pissed off about that playoff game. Cody Out says we played poorly and still almost won. We are fine. We're just young. I can agree with you on that, Cody. I just think that a lot of us expect more. Dan Campbell clearly expects more from this team. And he doesn't like an L. And I'm glad that we have a coach that wears his heart on his sleeve, that loves to win, because that's who we want. Right? I can be critical of Dan for going for it on fourth down after fourth down after fourth down, not taking the points. And you heard him. He said, we're going for the win. We're going for the win. It doesn't matter. We're backed up. We're going for the win. And you know what? I love it about him. I hate it about him. It's a weird relationship. But not all relationships are perfect, and sometimes they just work out just fine. So Matthew says complete incompetence. Let's talk about it. So who's going to be the first one to call in tonight? And Tony W., I'm not sure, buddy, what you mean there. Did I miss something? Here we go. Tony. Tony says, hey, at Rockdown Podcast Network and Sports Media Group, the Cowboys, and by the way, you can just call me Will, buddy. If you don't know my name, you do now. He says, the Cowboys versus the Lions in the playoffs I think the same refs cost us a game, the Cowboys versus the Lions in playoffs at home. That would be an interesting find. Let's go find out who those refs were. The guy that was the ref tonight, I hate that guy. I can't stand him. All right, we got somebody calling in. I'm going to get him on the line. I'll be right back. Hey, this is Will with Rock Down Detroit Lions. Who do I got? Vince. Hey, Vince. Give me just a second. We got a couple of calls coming in. All right, we got a couple of calls coming in, and I got Vince on the line. Vince, let me have it. Yeah, I'll tell you this. A lot of you guys weren't in when I started, so I started at just before 11 o'clock because I set this for 10:45, and then I tried to switch the time, and it wouldn't let me. So I had to start it, or I'd lose my slot, and then it's just a whole mess. But anyway, so I'm sitting there watching the tail end of the game just kind of by myself. There was a few people in here or there, and I lost it. So if you go back and watch the beginning of the show, I don't know when you jumped in, but I kind of lost it. And I really went off for a minute because, I had the same feeling. It's like they're taking this game from us. And hold on, Vince, hold on 1 second. I got people saying that they can't hear my audio. Nobody can hear the caller. Hold on. Can anybody say something, Vince? All right, can you guys hear him now? Oh no, what's going on? Hold on. Technical difficulty. Be right back. 1 second. Everything's plugged in. I don't know. Everything's plugged in. Should be good. Well, let's do this, Vince. Can you call me back in just a minute? All right, sounds fair. Thanks. Bye. All right. Vince is going to call us back in a minute. I think that with my YouTube open on the other side, it was blocking it. So we should be good now. All right, let's try this again. All right, is this Vince? All right, Vince. Can anybody hear him now? God, remember that commercial? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, can anybody let us know? It'd be helpful. Nope, they still say no. What in the world is going on? Well, just go for it, Vince. Testing. Can you hear me? I don't know why it's not working. That's the first time that's ever happened. Let me try something real quick here. Let me make sure that I'm not connected to Bluetooth. One second. And I don't see it connected to Bluetooth, so it should be good. Yep. All right. So I just added it to Bluetooth. I'm hoping that it's working now. Yeah, volume's all the way up, guys. Vince, let's just roll for it for just a second here. And if it doesn't work, then I guess it doesn't work tonight, which I'll be very disappointed about because this is a messed up game. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. I'll have the volume on my side, at least for the show later. All right. Vince, I'll let you go. I guess no one can hear us. All right, we'll see you. All right, I don't know what happened. I apologize, guys. I don't have a clue as to why the volume is not working. I've never had that problem. And I've just tried everything. So, give me 1 second. All right. I just reset it, so we can try another caller here in just a couple of minutes. But now I kind of forgot where I was. So let me just jump into the chat and we'll see what you guys got to say. So Bobby says, we live and die by the sword. Lauren McQuaig says, the flag was thrown about 30 seconds after the play as well. The whole thing stinks. Yeah, see, I didn't see that. I didn't have the volume on. So I was watching the game live, doing the show. And when I saw the late flag, or I saw the little symbol pop up, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, what happened? Was it a holding call? And then they say that mumbo jumbo, and that's what we get. So I can't wait to go back and watch it and figure it out. This one right here by Robert, we came to life too late. That was the story of tonight. And I think I've already said it again tonight. It's when we're not having the success that we need on the offense, Ben Johnson needs to know to go to the 2-minute. Our 2-minute offense is usually great. Our up-tempo stuff is phenomenal. And the thing that I continue to say week in and week out is when we get the defense on the field that we want on the field. So that means if Parsons actually would have taken a break tonight, I don't know if he did. I didn't watch him that closely. But the minute he's off the field, you know that you can press the gas. And as long as you don't make any substitutions, he can't come back on the field unless they call a timeout. So you almost have to play that cat and mouse game. You get your guys in, you run a few plays, you get them gassed, you get them out the game, and then you just go down the field quickly. A couple of quick plays and keep pushing when you have the right guys on the field and they don't have the wrong, they have the wrong guys on the field. Eric Myers, I appreciate your comments, buddy. Says, thanks for doing this. Always look forward to your post-game shows. I look forward to you guys. Like, you guys are the reason why I do this. I mean, this is done all for the fans. And I wish that would have started a couple of years ago. I don't know why I didn't. It's just one of those things that, I don't know, hindsight's 2020, right? Just like tonight. Robert says it sounds different already. Does it sound bad or good? Or good or bad? Randall says, Jerry Jones bought another one. Yeah, he probably did. Wonder how many pockets he filled tonight. All right, so Jesus M says, so it was it correct an eligible receiver by 68 didn't report? So we were just talking about that a few moments ago. And according to what Dan Campbell just said in the press conference, 70 reported, not 68. But what he also said was he tells everybody what to do very clearly. And what Lauren McQuaig said is that there's audio and there's video of Goff telling 68 to report. So the difference is this. If 70 reported and then 68 reported, well, two people can't report. So if there was a problem and two people reported, then you would have thought that the ref would have said something and said, hey, someone already reported. Who is it? Or stop the game, which I doubt they would have done. But we're going to find out. It'll have to come out. Oh, what's one Pride Detroit is the video of Decker reporting. They already have it. Pride of Detroit does. This will be interesting. This will be really interesting because it's a continuous problem against the Cowboys. If anybody has a link, I don't know if you can post links in the chat. But you can try. You can always email it, info@rockdownpodcastnetwork.com. I'd love to play it. I'll get it when we're done for sure. Oh, here it is. Let me pull it up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here we go. I'm pulling it up right now. So this information obviously is through Pride of Detroit's website. So all the credit goes to them. Let me blow this up and get rid of that banner. So right now I can already tell you there's Penei Sewell and there's Taylor Decker. And they walk up and they report. And then there's Dan Skipper at the very end. So obviously Dan Skipper didn't report. The ref was already running away. Now, when they walk in twos like that, that's because they're trying to hide who's actually reporting. Very interesting.
Tell me anything after the play. All I really want to say on it, just so I don't get myself into trouble, is, I did exactly what Coach told me to do, and went to the ref, set report, and I don't know. And it was my understanding too that Dan brings up the possibility of those sorts of plays pregame. So I did what I was told to do, did how we did it in practice all week, and that's probably all I'm really going to touch on with that.
It looked like Jared did tell you to go over there, and you were all over there.
Mm-hmm. There's not much more I can add to it. See the video of it.
Wow. So there you go. Taylor Decker says he did what he was supposed to do and reported what he was supposed to report. You clearly see the video of him going up to the ref and reporting. Why the ref would just take off and run away from Decker if he didn't already hear that he was reporting and then he was going to go do his job? Doesn't make any sense, does it? So yet again, the Lions get screwed in Jerry World. And this is going to stink on the NFL. Man. Rigged refs robbed Lions. That's going to be the headline tomorrow. It's probably going to be the video headline. I like it. I'm stealing that from you, buddy. I'm going to have to. It's just too good. Yeah, I saw that. Cody, I saw that where Skipper was yelling at the refs. I didn't say anything. I saw that too. He was livid. And what's that say? Cold Train says, yeah, it's totally corrupt. There's no question. Picture of Goff and Decker standing talking to the ref, plus the video. It's all out now. It's all out. This is going to stink in the NFL. But you know what doesn't happen? This is the thing that doesn't happen, guys and ladies, whoever's watching, is they're not going to change the wind tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. It's going to stay the way that it is. And next year, mark my words, you probably heard it here first, there's probably going to be another new rule on how to report because of the Detroit Lions. We'll just add that to the list of all the other rules that have been made for the Detroit Lions. What do we got? We got the hands to the face rule. We've got the Calvin Johnson rule. What else do we have? I know there's a few more. Get real. Thomas says, hey, we are not where we needed to be as a team and coaches yet. Campbell's decisions need to get better. Yeah, yes and no. Campbell made some questionable calls tonight, but he was going for the win. You heard what he said. Look, we played well tonight on defense. We played well on offense at times. And we just couldn't get both things, working at the same time. The defense definitely played better tonight. It was a hard-fought game. I mean, this is one of the best defenses that the Lions have seen all season. And for the fact that Goff wasn't on the ground all night long, I think that's a win, right? The offensive line did get manhandled. They did get trashed around. But Goff didn't crack under pressure. He threw an interception. He comes back in. He starts chucking first downs. He threw, a long ball to Jamo in stride, by the way, longest catch of his career in stride. Let me say that a few more times in stride. And yeah, he threw, another pick. Bad timing. Bad offensive line at times. So it is what it is. Yeah, Thomas, I hear you. I don't like going for the win on the 7. I wanted them to take the points. And what I was saying earlier is if you go back and watch the first 15, 20 minutes of tonight's show, I got livid, man. I was upset. That's just how I get sometimes in these games, but I could feel it. I didn't have the audio on, and I could feel it that the game was getting ripped away from us. The fact that Taylor Decker just caught a 2-point conversion in the end zone, you knew damn well that the NFL didn't want the Cowboys embarrassed on national TV against the Lions. And that's another thing. Larry Fitzgerald said that we weren't good enough to go in and play against the Cowboys. Well, I think we proved tonight that we are. We lost by a point. We should have won probably by 20 points. But this game was snatched from us. I like this one here. Unbiased viewer, Coyd, says he's a Vikings fan. I honestly believe the Lions were the better team out there. Dallas knows they got away with this one. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. And good luck the rest of the way. I can't remember if the Vikings have a shot between the next couple of games to make it in the playoffs. But if you do, good luck. Right now, I want to see the Dallas Cowboys in the first round. That's who I want to see. I hope that Dallas somehow slips to the 5th or further or whatever. I hope we see them at some point. Maybe it would have to probably be the second game because I think they can only slide to the 5th. And they can get as high as the 2nd. So I want to see Dallas at some point. Cody says C.D. McNeil in Houston should help. I don't know, man. I mean, the way this defense played tonight, I don't think that I'd want to be screwing up anything right now. They better sign Bruce Irvin to the 53-man roster. And I was talking with Derek earlier today about that because they brought him up. And so if Bruce Irvin, makes it through waivers, then he'll get another 3 shots at being called up. But I just have a feeling that a team is going to snake him away from us just to screw with us. Or maybe it's a team that's making a playoff push and they need somebody. So the Lions better sign him because the way they played tonight, man, we need that. And I don't think that I would want to put James Houston in there, who hasn't played all season, who's barely going to come back for a game or two. He doesn't have any acclimation to this team right now. He's been away from the team for a long time. He hasn't been out there playing with the guys. I'd rather see him keep Irvin. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Eric Myers. After decades of debacle, every win and loss this year is personal for us. It is. It is personal for us. Worded incorrectly, but yes, they screw other teams in Dallas. I don't follow that one. What is this? James Burgess says, screw it. Play no one next week. Put in Teddy or Hendon and no starters at all. Do not announce it, any of it, until game day inactives. That's funny. I don't know. We still have something to play for, I think, next week. I'm going to have to go in and look at the old playoff machine. All right. We're coming up on the hour and a half mark. We're going to be shutting it down here. Robert says, keep Bruce, and we are starting to roll on D. We should keep the continuity. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. And Alualu, I wonder how many snaps he got tonight, but I'll tell you this. I haven't seen a push like that in a while. And Alualu or Alu is definitely a nice compliment to whatever happened tonight because it was working. And we need it to continue. And James says the Vikings will get a freebie. Yeah, I guess if we did put nobody in, they would. But Tribe says, biting those kneecaps, baby. The clown show goes on and on and on. Yeah, I don't know. Is it really a clown show? Or did we just get screwed tonight? We screwed ourselves. So let me wrap it up. Here we go. Detroit Lions took on the Cowboys in Jerry's wonky world. The Dallas refs decided to play Homer again to the Dallas Cowgirls. Lions get screwed by rigged refs. Jerry fattens up the pockets of somebody's wife tonight to make sure that the Lions lose. But the Lions will live on. The Lions are in the playoffs. The Lions are NFC North champions for the first time ever in the history of the NFC North. The Lions finally won their first division championship in more than 30 years, since 1993. And this is the brand new Detroit Lions. We lost a good one tonight. We lost one we shouldn't have lost. We have a lot of great things to look forward to as Lions fans, and this is just the beginning. We are just now scratching the surface of greatness. So even though this one's going to sting, and everyone's going to wake up pissed off tomorrow again, just look forward to the next one. Because we're going to have to wipe all this away before the next game. And get ready for the playoffs, because that's what matters now. We just have to worry about the playoffs. We can't allow this to happen. The one thing that I've always said is, you keep the refs out of the game by putting points on the board, right? You put the points on the board. And you keep them out of the game by not allowing the other team to score points. If the Lions could have done that tonight, they would have won the game. We have to be better than the refs. We know this. Honestly, during most of this game, I said something to my dad. I said, man, we haven't seen a whole lot of laundry. They're kind of letting them play. There was a huge holding penalty on St. Brown that wasn't called. He was like 25 yards down the field, and he got held, and the ball was right on him, and they didn't call it. And at that point, I kind of said, all right, that doesn't feel right. Like, this game is getting way too close. It's getting towards the end of the game, and now they're not calling very blatant penalties. That's a problem. Because in the beginning of the game, there wasn't laundry because there really wasn't anything going on. It was just defensive stop after defensive stop. There really wasn't a ton going on. But it seemed like every time the Lions broke a big run, there goes a flag. Yes, it was a holding penalty on 82, Mitchell. It was kind of weak because he wasn't even close to the ball, but it was still a holding penalty. But at least go back and call the blatant call that, St. Brown got interfered with. Would have been defensive holding, interference, whatever you want to call. Either one's fine with me. So let's move on for next week. I know it's going to hurt tomorrow. And we're all going to be talking about it. I will be, because I'm going to be putting out some videos. I'm putting the NFL on notice again. And let's just look forward to the playoffs. We got a lot of good things happening in Motown. We had a lot of amazing fans. You guys all piled in here in this live show, pre and post game, and I appreciate you all. You guys are truly the best sponsors and supporters of this channel. You always have been, and I hope you always will be. You know that I'm always here for you. I always show up, whether I'm sick or not. I'm here for you guys. And do me a favor if you're new and you guys are just finding us out tonight. Do us a favor and subscribe. We'd love to have you. We'd love to push this to 3,000 before the well, I guess the New Year's coming here in just a couple of days, so that's going to be kind of quick. Our goal was 3,000 this year. We probably won't get there, so help us get as much as we can, and let's start off the new year right, and let's get to our next victory and get on to these playoffs. So I appreciate y'all. Let's go One Pride. Let's go Detroit Lions. The season ain't over. It's just begun. Remember that. All right, y'all. Take care.
Wants to throw it to Short. He caught it. He's going to first down. Oh, the big man dives down the 31-yard line. Oh, that is beautiful. Fields looking, pressured, hit from behind, taken down. Aiden Hutchinson got him.
No respect.
So, we look like we're ready. This is day one.
No respect.